Well, guys, if you haven't been paying attention, we're getting ready to give this dyno away. If you watch this video when it comes out, you've only got a couple days. So if you haven't been following, this is our 04 Super Glide that we challenged ourselves with a $5,000 Dyna build. We wanted to do basically a budget Dyna, kind of along the realms of Lilith back there. This is my 08 lowrider, and I spent a little bit of money on this thing, not too crazy, but we wanted to kind of do a budget version of it. So we picked this bike up, I think in the middle of the summer, and I wanted to just kind of do a budget build, and I always knew that it'd be kind of cool to just like give it away. And I do want you to comment down below, if you don't mind, did you like the idea of this bike giveaway? We're almost done. I'm not gonna lie, we're roughly gonna break even on it. So your boy ain't making any money off this, which is fine. I thought it'd be cool to build something on a budget, because I like budget bikes. You can kind of go anywhere and see anything about just like spending a bunch of money and see all these crazy builds that most people like myself cannot afford. But to see somebody go find a bike, especially like a pretty fresh and nice Dyna, go get it, you know, pretty much squared away and kind of respectable for 5K. I feel like that's kind of cool. That's the stuff that interests me. Hopefully it interests you. If you did think this was cool, comment down below. Maybe we'll do another giveaway in the future. This isn't something we're going to be doing all the time. Once we give this away, we do not have something lined up to give away again. But I would love to hear your opinion. But let's get into it. So first and foremost, when this video drops, you have until Wednesday, the 22nd, to get entered in to win this. And how you would do that is go to wretchedclothing.com. We have 3 different price tiers if you want to buy tickets just for this. Or every $5 you spend for merch gets you 1 spot entered in to win this bike. So let's go over it. Again, you've only got a few days left if you're watching this when it come out. At the end of the day, midnight on the 22nd, we are going to close the raffle, and then the plan is to gather everything together, and hopefully that Friday, call or email or get up with the winner. We're going to pick one person and do a video on hopefully getting somebody this bike. My son is also scheduled to be born in about 3 weeks, so I guess 2 weeks when you see this. So we're trying to wrap this up and going to try to get this to its new owner one way or the other, hopefully before that, or I might have to hold on to it once little man comes home, but we're going to work around that. So let's actually talk about the bike. If you don't know, we're going to go over the bike and tell you what we got, what we did, and kind of wrap it up. So first, this is a 04 Super Glide. It is a weird year with the 04-05. It is in 04 and 05, you had the option of fuel injection. This is actually carbureted. So it's one of the last early model Dynas, but it does have a weird seat setup. Your voltage regulator is more like a later model Dyna. So it's definitely a little weird, but these bikes are getting a little more popular since those early bikes are getting more expensive. This one was pretty clean. The guy was an automotive instructor who I got it from. He did use this bike for some of his students. So mechanically, it was pretty well maintained. But the boy, or the guy, the older gentleman, was pretty eccentric and had some weird stuff. He put like some goop up here and put these like deer whistlers. He had this really weird, dumb oil cooler that just looked terrible and would leak a little bit. We put it back to factory. Luckily, he did include the factory filter housing. And kind of cleaned her up. It wasn't too bad. He had a bunch of like old manish stuff, big bags, sissy bar, big king seat, and windshield. We told him, take all that off, and we'll do it like I kind of lowball them, and we it worked out. So he took all those parts off. We bought this without a seat. I did test ride it and then gave him the seat back. So we bought this without a seat. And at that point, let's go front to back and tell you what we did. In the front, we did go with progressive springs, brand new fluid, and we have the spacers pretty tight. So if you do need to take those apart and shave them down a little bit, you can. We did go with 2-inch extender blocks for the front end, but we couldn't quite go any taller than we are. I think we're like 1.5 inches, maybe a little less, probably like 1 inch, because our brake line didn't want to go any further. It's fine where it is. Go any further, you're probably going to have to change out your brake line. You might be able to move it around and get a little bit of room out of it, but I didn't want to do that. So we basically have a little bit of lift, new springs, new fluid. So much better. This front suspension was clapped out when we got it, but it's an 04, so what do you expect? We did take off the stock air cleaner cover. It does have like the Screaming Eagle breather. We threw one of our old stock air cleaner covers on there, so that's kind of cool. We did also put an exhaust on here that we got super cheap. So with the exhaust that we picked up, we actually did like a package deal and got the rear shocks, which are the drag specialties, like adjustable 13.5. We have them roughly a little over 13.5. And we got this Bassani as like a package deal, pretty cheap. So pretty happy about that. Could not be more excited. That was a pretty nice come up. We did flush the brakes front and back. Basically just cleaned her up. I did give it to my buddy and let him do kind of like a quick polish. The bike is, I mean, pretty fresh and clean. I can't really complain about too much here. We did leave the bar setup kind of stock. We did have these leftover grips and pegs to match their performance machine. I had them off, I think, an older bike I had. So that was kind of cool, and it definitely goes with the vibe of the bike, of this nice red sparkle with chrome. So matching grips and pegs, I think that really makes the bike look so much better than just having like worn out black rubber. The handlebars, pretty much stock. I don't know if these risers were original. Sometimes they'll come with lower risers. But this handlebar setup is not bad. And I foregoed the handlebar setup because I was going to do a custom seat, but we'll talk about that in a second. I will say he already set us up with a dual gauge setup, which was really cool because these came with a single gauge, and putting both of them on there, that's just rad. I think it looks so much better. The handlebar setup's pretty good. I did actually swap the bars out because he glued these terrible grips on the stock bar, and it kind of destroyed it when we took everything apart. So I had an old stock bar, so we threw that on. Front end's pretty good, does ride good. Pretty happy about everything. We did throw a set of our coffin saddlebags. These are like our standard size saddlebags. They zip off, so it makes it easy to pack, carry with you, and move around. You don't have to take a seat off and all that kind of stuff. And that is very important for this very strange, weird custom seat we have. As you can tell when you look at it from here, there's no seat bolt, because this actually has a stud that goes down and you tighten it with a nut on the bottom. With the higher suspension we have, definitely is an easy task. That was a must to do with that seat. I got this on Marketplace. There is no name, there's no nothing. It was just marked, I think 0405 Dyna on the bracket. It was just a Facebook Marketplace find. It's not bad. Depending on your size, it's definitely pushed back a little. I wish this was a little bit more straight instead of curved like this. But nonetheless, I think we ended up trading a set of saddlebags for it. So we were nice little come up there. But I did plan to do a custom seat, but there was some miscommunication, and with the timeline we have now, that just isn't going to work. So I didn't want to do anything too crazy like with the handlebar setup or anything like that, because that would have taken a lot of work, and it's really pretty decent the way it is. And depending on who wins this, if you go too much taller, maybe they'll have issues, what have you. So I come up with a different idea. So the goal with this challenge was to spend $5,000 on the bike and the upgrades to get where we are right now. And really the only thing left to do, it already had an LED headlight. We could have put a cooler tail light, but really the only thing left to do is kind of like the rider triangle, change the seat, handlebars, whatever. And this seat's kind of cool. So I think what we're going to do is just get us to that $5,000 mark by including $400. I think that's roughly where we are. We're like $400 shy of hitting that $5,000 mark. So we're going to take this money and put it in the saddlebag. So you will have some cash to do any upgrades in the future, some maintenance that might need to be done, or whatever have you. Plus, that could go with some gas money, or if you got to borrow a buddy's truck or whatever to get this bike back to your house. I feel like that $400 can definitely help with that. So I definitely went out on a whim here to do this, and I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let's actually start the bike up so you can hear it in case you haven't heard it in any of the other videos. I will try to link the playlist up top if you want to watch all of those videos, but yeah, let's start it up. So I am very interested in what y'all think about this giveaway. Was it a dumb idea? Let me know. Are y'all interested in it? If you have gotten in on this giveaway, please comment down below, let me know. And I cannot wait to call that person and figure out who's going to win this. I think that's going to be like super cool for me. Selfishly, I'm super looking forward to that. Giving somebody this bike, that's just going to be rad. It's going to be a really cool time. But like this video, comment, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Maybe we'll do another one of these in the future. Who knows? But for right now, I'm super proud of it. I think it's really cool. Would love to know your thoughts. Hopefully, maybe you're the winner. But either way, keep it wretched.